Hey guys, Brad and the Buff. I got my buff in my head and I'm ready to go. Today I wanted to talk to you about why I believe that backpacking is the greatest choose your own adventure that you can do anywhere. So as you guys can see, I've got my gear laid out here for me. I've got a lot of different pieces that do very similar things, and from the outside looking in, it looks like, why would I have all these different pieces? And the reason for that is because with backpacking, the gear you wear is going to be how your trip goes. It's going to dictate what kind of trip you have, and there's lots of different ways to go with the gear, and you may find you may need a different piece that's slightly different to get the desired effect you want. It's like the ultimate in like building out your character in a video game, you know? If you've ever played those types of games, sometimes you have a heavier character that maybe moves slower but has more defense or whatever. That's a weird analogy, but that is how backpacking is. Your gear dictates how your trip's going to go, and that's one of the reasons I love it. Is I feel like there's a lot of choice for me to have a different type of adventure each time I go. And so I'm just going to demonstrate kind of what my thought process is on each piece of gear. So this was the first backpack I got as an adult that I really picked out and chose for me. This is the Palisade 80. It is a Gregory backpack. This thing is amazing. It's a freaking tank. But because it's a tank, it weighs 6.5 pounds. I still use this backpack a lot in the winter, even though it's a super heavy backpack, because I can carry a ton of gear in this comfortably. It also has a lot of storage and gear. It was great for me when I was a beginner and I didn't know how to condense my gear down to just the necessities, so I could throw everything in here. And it can haul 60, 70 pounds very comfortably. And so this was a great starting piece of gear for me, and it's still a great piece of gear for me if I need to carry a lot of weight. So if it's a heavy gear, I'm still going to use this one. Now this is my Crown 60 I got a couple years ago. I went from this, a 6.5 pound pack that has like a gazillion features, to this very simplistic Granite Gear Crown 60, and the main reason was it's 2.5 pounds. But it doesn't have nearly the features it has. It has a mesh pocket on the front, but that has a zip pocket. It has a couple side storage, a top, and then just a roll down, and you basically shove everything in here. It's not great for organization. I don't need that anymore in my typical weekend trip. I know where my gear goes. I have it kind of organized in my head. I don't need the separation inside my pouch. I know what's in here. So as I got better at what I was doing and knew what I liked and knew what gear I had, I didn't need as much organization. I didn't need the extra weight to separate it all. And the weight became more important to me, so I ended up with this backpack because I wanted to travel lighter and easier. And so I can't put nearly the kind of weight I can on that one, but because I have better gear now, I don't need to. So this is just my quick move-in, and it's very comfortable, about 30 to 35 pounds. Anything after that, it starts to get a little bit heavy, and it wears on you bad, but as long as I keep this thing within 25 pounds, I am cruising. Same thing with tents. I got a million different tents. This is a Mountain Smith Morrison 3. I've had this one for maybe a decade. This is a great car camping tent. It's a huge 3-person. I'll take it with me on a backpacking trip if I've only got a few miles in, just because of the extra comfort of the space. Easily fits 3 people. I stick my whole family in here, but this thing is like an 8-pound tent, maybe 9-pound tent. So when I wanted to get down to a lighter pack, I knew I needed a lighter tent because my pack wouldn't support it. So I got this. This is my Big Agnes copper spur, and this is about a 3-pound tent. And it has a bunch of cool features in it as well, but let me tell you, 2 people in this tent is super tight. So it's not nearly as comfortable with that, but that's not what I got it for. I got it for doing solo, because for 1 person it's pretty big, but you can definitely get 2 people in here. So to split the weight up between 2 people, it's only 1.5 pounds. I might give whoever I'm hiking with some of my other weight so we can equally distribute it, and I typically carry the tent. It's got an easy setup. Just a different style of trip. This is more about being lightweight than it is necessarily about room space or comfort. I'm just going to set this up and sleep in this thing. I'm not going to be hanging out in it. So that's my tent. Then I got these other tents. So this was my first hot teepee tent. I can take this out and it can be 0 degrees outside, which I've done before, and I have a few of those videos. And I can put a furnace inside of it. It's not the right term. Well, anyways, a furnace inside of it, and I can keep it warm. A stove, that's what I was looking for. But I can put a hot stove inside this, and I can go out on top of a mountain and be snowed in and be perfectly comfortable at 0 degrees as long as I have my wood. But this is a 6-person tent without the stove and a max probably 3-person tent with the stove. It's about a 9-pound tent, but I really enjoyed going out solo. So once I realized that, hey, I actually would like to do this more by myself, I went down and reduced down to this, which is my my Luxe tent. I just did a review, an open review on this, and I'm going to be using this winter. I haven't taken it out yet, but this is a 1-person tent, but it's only like 3 pounds with the pole. So I went from 9 pounds to 3 pounds because I'm going to be using this for my solo adventures out in the winter, which I greatly enjoy. So each item I have here serves a different purpose, and I have additional cost into it, but it is nice. I use all of this gear throughout the year. I'm going to use every single one of these tents this year. I guarantee it. I'll use both backpacks because they serve a different purpose, and that's what you want your gear to do. You want it to serve the purpose that you want it for. Not everybody's an ultralight guy. That gear is expensive, it's hard to accumulate, and it doesn't usually have some of the nicer things. Like on every trip I carry my coffee grinder. My coffee, it probably adds a pound. That's not exactly something an ultralight guy would do, but that's okay because that's such a big part of the trip to me that I want that stuff. And the same thing, you know, if you don't like a smaller tent or you like the hammock hike, all of these different things make the trip. And so the gear you select is like choosing your own adventure. And one of the biggest things about backpacking is the call to adventure, just to get out, do something different, get away from it all, and to do something that's exciting. And just, once again, it's just a call to adventure. Do something outside of the norm that lifts your spirits. But anyways, I just want to talk to you guys about how your gear does select the trip for you. So never be afraid of doubling up on some different items if they do different things. You're going to use them over time anyways. In fact, usually because I have this gear, I find trips to use them for. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you next time. Hey guys, if you liked the video you just saw, please subscribe, click the bell so you can get alerted for any new videos that I may do, and check the links below for any information I described in the video. I'll try to put as much there as possible. Thanks for watching.